resolution number 5, making appropriations to nonprofit charitable organizations in Hawkins County, Tennessee. Fiscal year beginning July 1st and ending June 30th, 2025. Do I have a motion to send this on to the full commission?
So moved.
I have a question on that too.
Okay, wait till we get a motion on the floor, please.
I'm sorry.
I'll second.
Okay, now, any discussion?
I have a question. Everybody's been getting on the budget committee and the commission as far as trying to make cuts. Shouldn't the charitable donations and things like that be the first area that you should be looking at as far as trying to make those cuts? And what cuts have been made, if any, if you are looking in that area?
Which organization you think ought to be cut?
Well, I mean, American Red Cross, nothing personal, I think they could go without our $5,800, $880. So, I mean, and as long as we're over $60 million in debt, one accord, the Chamber of Commerce, the YMCA in Kingsport getting $45,000.
That's the YMCA out here. It's not in Kingsport. They feed 250 kids a day.
I'm reading off.
Who's gonna pick that up if we do that?
And I understand that, but aren't they
Are we gonna have to
affiliated?
pick it up as
Are
a
they
commission?
affiliated with the in Kingsport? Then why are we sending the money to Kingsport and
We're
then
not sending
praying
money.
that they're bringing it back into our county?
We're not sending money to Kingsport. It
Well,
goes straight out here to the,
that's
they
true.
are a, state,
Greater Kingsport Family YMCA, if
that
it's
is
not going
a
there.
parent organization.
All right, well,
And
then
our
it's
organization-
going up there. then.
No, it's not. All
So-
the money that goes there goes to that facility out there.
You're guaranteeing me that?
I'll guarantee you
All right.
that.
But either way, in those categories, I mean, you got, the maintenance and effort required. I understand you can't take that money away. The $115,000 going to the library system, the libraries are usually kept up by cities. Why would that have to do anything with the county?
Well, I think it's the Hawkins County Library, and the city does.
Well, the
pay.
Hawkins County.
Okay,
does.
wait just a moment.
I'll let you finish. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have
And,
interrupted. I
and,
apologize for that.
The city of Rogersville pays the same amount,
Okay.
so it's divided between them. But
Okay.
you also have libraries throughout the county.
And seems to me like we're only, how's that distributed? I mean, it just says $115,000 and that's it. And the way this is reading, it's going to the Hawkins County one, which is the only county one is,
My understanding, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, Eric may know, my understanding is we give that money to the library board and they disperse that amongst the different ones throughout the county, because they have their own operating board.
well, then why are we giving a separate $5,000 to Mount Carmel? Because that's part of the county.
Because they requested to not be a part of the system.
Correct. And to answer your original question, I think we certainly could make some cuts to nonprofits, such as maybe some larger organizations like Red Cross that you mentioned and whatnot. I think my opinion would be the return that we get for, if we had to provide the services that a lot of these nonprofits provide, it would cost us a lot more if we wanted to internalize those and run them as a government service rather than a contribution to a private organization. So while it is money spent, and I know you're not saying cut the volunteer fire departments, but a good example would be them. If we had to provide fire coverage through the county government,
The
it
fire
cost us billions of
department
dollars.
saved us over $5.5 million on a yearly basis. I
Correct.
completely agree and understand the volunteer fire department. That's why I didn't even bring that up.
Of course.
But our safety and whatnot should come first and foremost with our kids and our infrastructure. That's the only three areas that our budget should be spent on until we're out of debt. I mean, there's mismanagement of land, which is the airport, all the property, the small lots that we own over in Pressman Home that are landlocked. You know, I can give you 25 different plots over there that's owned by the county, and they're just sitting there not collecting nothing. and they can't be resold because they're landlocked, because there's no county road going into them.
Understood. My comments just around the charitable contributions would be.
But I
would be
mean,
what
that,
said.
in my opinion, I mean, just that being said, in my opinion, that's where the first look should be looked at, as far as any kind of contributions getting out and us being so far in debt. And on top of that, the EMS, I mean, nothing against EMS, like I said, our security comes first, but they went from $200,000 to $400,000. How could that possibly double in a year's time?
Can't answer that question. We have to ask the director.
Wayne, do you want to address that comment?
It basically boils down to our side of it is just the increased cost of supplies, operating cost, and reimbursement cuts from the federal levels, not local levels.
Right.
Our side of it does not come from the local. It's these guys being punished for the federal level stuff. Is all it comes down to. And I personally went through the numbers myself, and we've come down to the bare minimum of what we asked for.
But with inflation and everything, I mean, you requested 600,000, you're only gonna get 400,000.
We had some operating expenses, we
Right.
had, and we're just getting down now to where we won't have to have something.
I mean, I agree inflation's went up, but it ain't went up 50%.
No, I'm not saying it has, I'm just saying it's with the inflations of what we've had and secured, it's starting to drop on our side of that.
So what you're saying is you can't go no less than 400,000.
That's gonna be our bottom as far as operating cost goes for this year.
And you can prove all that on paper?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And on our side too, sir, we're already in our fiscal year, so we have a lot of evidence based,
Right.
what we've already started our fiscal year, so it's very critical.
Okay.
I have another question.
Yes.
On this Holston Business Group, can anybody in here tell us what this $32,000 goes to? It was 29, it's 32 now.
Well, they asked you to reinstate it where you cut it several years ago, and that's what we agreed to do.
What does, my question was, what do we get out of it?
Well, they got a hosted business incubator
I
system over
think
there.
that's listed separately.
No, it is. Well, then you explain.
No, that is what it is, you're right, that's right.
Okay, they are an incubator. They bring in businesses that go in, they rent the office spaces out. When we have a company come in, lots of times they will rent that spot out until they get their offices built. So it's kind of a service that we have for them. It's been there for 20 years. We've been funding it for that amount of time. It's been a benefit for us. It brings additional businesses into the county.
Shouldn't that be the industrial board's problem and the budget that you give them every year? Come out of their budget?
Can I speak to that?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So I've been pretty skeptical about the Holston Business Development Group for a long time, and honestly, I've taken a lot of time to go up there. I met the new director, she came and addressed us here, and went up there. So to answer your question, this is a facility, it's a building up at BAE. So this, I guess it's funded somehow through I don't know if we write the check directly to them, Eric, or if it funnels through the industrial development. I don't know how that works. Yeah, okay. But I will tell you this, when I went up there, she toured me around the facility, and she knows what's going on. I can't speak to what has gone on there in the past, but she has done well up there and has basically every office leased out. And my understanding is this money that we give goes to the organization to pay the salary of the person running it, right? Pays the lady's salary and then other expenses they may have. But she is doing good work there. If you'd asked me a year ago about it, I probably wouldn't have been in favor of giving them money. As a matter of fact, I think we may have debated this last year. But my opinion, after visiting there and meeting the lady who's in charge of it, I believe that she is doing a good thing, because of the businesses that they are recruiting. It also, I would imagine, gives the mayor's office, and the industrial board and the chamber someone to refer small businesses to if they need office space, they're just getting started. I would think that it kind of serves a purpose for the whole county. Would you agree?
Yes.
And would you agree, Mayor?
Yes, I'm on that board, as is Nancy and people from the industrial development board as well. And whether it comes out of contributions or whether it comes out of the industrial board line item, it still hits the bottom line the same way. It's well worth the investment to gain the new businesses that come through it and stay in Hawkins County.
Well, I think it's worth the money right now because it's doing well,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's the key, is we've got to keep it doing well and doing what it's supposed to be doing. If it ever stops doing that, then we probably don't need to do it, you know, in my opinion. But right now, I can support it because I think it is doing what it's designed to do, which
And
is
if they were in
integrate small
positions
businesses.
where they were making money and putting it in the bank and so forth, you know, we could think about reducing that, but right now, it's just about a break-even proposition.
Understood. Yes.
Where is this located?
It's at the BAE.
It's in Allendale.
Right up near Allendale. I say at the plant, it's
Just how it passed the plan.
kind of, yeah,
How
just after you
often
pass.
do you actually, how often do you actually look at their books and see where they're going before you decide to give them the money
We get reports every quarter from them.
with bank statements?
Yes.
If they have been so beneficial, I'd like to know what businesses they brought in that wouldn't have otherwise been and what they've done.
It's a fair point, and I think that's something we have to reassess every year.
They bring that list every year when they bring their budget hearing presentation to you all.
But if you're a small business, starting out and you're looking for commercial office space, it's something where you need brick and mortar space, you'd be hard pressed to find it at an affordable rate, especially right outside Kingsport and even in downtown Rogersville. I've had several people reach out to me wanting to. It's not easy to find. And sometimes people that need that space might not be willing to take that risk, just going into a private contract with a developer or a landowner. But if they have something like Holston Business Development Group, they may be willing to take that risk because they work with folks. That's what they're designed to do. You know, others may feel different. That's fine. But I have taken some time to try to educate myself on it, so that I can have a firmer position. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other discussion?
How about the,
Okay, we're on
I'm
this.
just asking
Okay.
you, you asked me about the contributions in there, and I got one more, the EDSU Forensic Center, $136,886.
We've got to have somebody to do the coroner's reports.
Autopsies. Okay, so the Oliver bodies get set up there. As far as the coroner's office, we don't have.
We have a coroner in Hawkins County, yes, we have several that go to the scene, but
We don't have somebody that does the autopsy. That's what I'm
No.
asking.
Not the actual.
That's all I was asking.
So Commissioner Gillum, how many do you think is up there today?
I'm sorry.
You said you had went and educated yourself on this. How many businesses are in there today?
Well, I don't have the number of businesses, but I saw every office, and there was one unoccupied when I was there. Every other one.
She was getting ready to fill that one just last week, but I could guess, but I don't know.
Last I heard it was 19.
That's what I was thinking, 19, they got one open, so there's 20 suites that they can lease out.
And what's rent run for up there?
I'm sorry?
How much is the rent?
It depends, it's on a sliding scale, you go in the first year at a certain rate, and then as you're allowed to stay 2 to 4 years max, and then it goes up each year.
All it is just to get you up and running, isn't it?
Get
To
to
know what to
jumpstart your
expect when
business.
you
Well, I mean, if you.
And you get your internet, you get your fax machine, I think they have to pay for their own phone line, but it just jumpstarts the businesses.
And what's the cost to them? I mean, you said it's different, but I mean, Just roughly, what's a unit run for?
Just depends on how many square feet they take. It's, you know, you can do 1 suite, 2 suites, you got small suites, larger suites, so I have no idea what the exact.
Like one
rate is.
suite, you wouldn't know what that
No.
would run for? I was just curious.
It's a rate that they can afford starting out. It's not huge. I can't quote what it is, but it's
I mean,
not.
is it $300 a month, 500?
Jim, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
It varies depending on, like Nancy said, how much space they have and how much assistance they need, things like that.
You can find out real quick if a motion was made to approve to remove that 32,000.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. Let's go ahead and vote. All in favor? Any opposed?
No.
Was that a no from you, Mr. Alice, or
Yes.
did you, was
Yes,
you
ma'am.
just answering her question?
It was a no vote.
It's a no vote, okay.
All right. So we're to resolution number 6.
I'm sorry, Ms. Chairman, let's let the record reflect that John Gibson entered the meeting at 3:24. Sorry.
Okay. So number 6 is approval of the appropriations for the 2024-2025 fiscal year budget. Do I have a motion?
So,
Josh, second?
Second.
Tom? Any discussion?
I have a point to make if nobody else does. I emailed you all, end of last week about one more pitch to go to the 2080 scale, employees in the mayor's office. Got a feeling from the room that I'm gonna get crucified for this, and I'm not here to argue it. I'm just here to put it forward one more time. I hope you all know that we have folks in this office who work more than 7 hours a day and don't get compensated for it. Total cost of moving us all, or moving, I can't say us all because I'm not included in this. Moving folks to that scale, Eric handed me 76,671 is total cost. And I hope you all got my email on my explanation on that. I'm not gonna go any further with it because I don't want to get into arguments with everybody in the group. But if y'all don't care, I've got a couple of folks who will be affected by it that would like to say a few words if that's all right with the committee.
Okay. Who's first?
Go ahead.
I'm Robert Jarnigan. I am the maintenance supervisor for Hawkins County, take care of all the buildings. Just to start off with, I do know that myself and my coworker here, Kip Pearson, have been discussing it, and there is a very good chance that if something's not done different to help us out a little bit more, that you're going to lose your whole entire maintenance department. And I'm not saying that the maintenance department cannot be remanned, because we can be replaced by anybody, you can hire anybody. What I am saying is the knowledge that Kip and myself have, you're not gonna have somebody that knows that stuff. Miss Davis can account for multiple things that has come up that her herself don't even know about the county buildings that Kip and I do. There's things where if you have a problem with HVAC units, we know what to go look for, we know where to go reset things, we know where to go take care of stuff. Tony Allen, right here, he can vouch for the same thing for up at the Justice Center. There's times that stuff goes on up there that they themselves have to call Kip or myself to help take care of things because it's not known where certain things is at.
We have gone from having, I believe it's 8 buildings, 8 or 9 buildings in all, that was raised a few years ago in the 3 years that I've been here. We have never asked for a pay increase. We have never asked for an additional employee. We've never asked for anything extra. We feel that the work that we do, we both work in excess of, on average, in excess of 8 hours a day. Kip right now is sitting on 200 and something comp time hours that he has accrued over the past year or so. I'm sitting on 100 and something, and I just got paid out for 100 hours here recently. I can already go ahead, we do a lot of work on holidays. We do a lot of work on weekends to keep from having to shut down the county buildings, which is beneficial to the county. Because if the county buildings, if you have to shut a building down or office down, like at the tag office, you don't have people coming in. There was one weekend that I worked all weekend long for a heat and air unit to be replaced because of the location of it, and it was going to directly affect anybody in the courthouse and annex coming in to pay tags or property taxes or anything of that nature. I can tell you right now, I know that there is at least 3 weekends right now that Kip and myself, one of us is going to have to work, if not both of us, to take care of issues that is going on in the county with the county buildings right now. All we get out of this is comp time. Comp time is something that don't pay my groceries, it don't pay my mortgage, it don't pay nothing, but as far as financially paying for anything. Something, Kip and I both feel that something needs to be done to help the maintenance department out as far as with a pay increase going to 2080. I do know that I've done some research myself, some surrounding counties around us. Hamlin County, for example, in the 23-24 fiscal year, paid their maintenance supervisor $51,418. Their maintenance employees, to my knowledge, they have 2. They paid $103,201. Jefferson County, maintenance supervisor in the 23-24 fiscal year, $52,728. Workers, $90,905. Assuming that it was 2 workers. Might have been 3, but I haven't been able to talk to nobody. In the Greene County, maintenance personnel, $91,957. They had all theirs grouped together. In Hawkins County, the maintenance supervisor don't make $40,000 a year. Maintenance employee makes $35,000 a year. There's something somewhere that I feel that needs to be done for the maintenance department to help them out.
I've been topped out. I've been topped out after this year.
And let me add to that, it's not necessarily a raise. It's the same hourly rate they've been being paid for, but they're being paid for the hours that they actually work, instead of just 7 hours.
So I guess my question is, would the raise eliminate comp time?
Pretty much, we'll eliminate it. Eric can probably speak to
Can I?
it. Yeah.
Can I speak on it? Well, maintenance is a job that you never know when something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
There has been a time that there's been a commission meeting over here going on. I got a phone call at home. I'd already left and went home. There was an employee with the county in the courthouse over here. He called me and he said, Robert, we got a problem over here. We've got a toilet running continuously. I don't know how to get it stopped. He called me. I had to come back in that night, take care of that. That's comp time. Up at the jail, if the air conditioners go down, something happens to the air conditioner on the jail side where the inmates is at, you gotta get the air conditioner back up and going. I've been known to be up there on the roof of the jail with contractors that we contract to come in to do the repair till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to make sure that the air conditioners and the heat have been taken care of. So to answer your question, will more work take care of comp time? With maintenance, it's gonna be hard to, because we never know when something's gonna happen that we're gonna get that phone call that we have to come in, whether it be 6 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you'll never cut out comp time. You're gonna have to pay us something. You're gonna have to pay
Well,
us.
the thing is on comp time, right now you're measuring what they actually work against a 7-hour day
Yeah.
versus an 8-hour day. So there's a lot of that's overtime and would be overtime. These guys come whenever you call them. Those hours would kind of be mitigated a little bit by giving them their actual 8 hours a day that they're working. They come in, make sure the parking lots are clear in the winter. These guys work hard and work long hours, as does everybody in this office. And I think I put in that email that, you know, one of the things we've taken on additionally this year versus last year are grants that have brought in way more money than this would cost us in the long run. But Eric's having to deal with grants, Michelle's having to deal with grants, Sarah's dealing with grants. You know, they're putting in a lot of extra time to make sure the county gets its fair share of these grants that are out there that would have cost us a lot of money. Look, one project, the Phipps Bend Industrial Park Road, $1 million project that we didn't have to pay for. You know, and this is gonna cost us $76,000 more a year. It just doesn't, to me, it's a no-brainer, but it's totally up to you all. As I said, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to sit here and see what goes on every day, what these guys go through every day, and not speak out for them. So I'm just making one final plea, and that's where I stand.
You two are currently on the 1820 scale, the 7-hour day, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So going to the 2080 scale, really, other than just the pay, it's not going to really, it sounds like you have a lot more overtime.
We do
More of the
have-
overtime that you're racking up the comp time.
We do have quite a bit of overtime, yes, sir.
So,
But you gotta remember, if they go to the 8-hour day scale, probably.
so how much comp time will
That's,
be?
that's 5 hours extra a week.
But we can't determine how much comp time will be.
You'll never turn.
You'll never determine
No.
that.
You'll never know.
So would increasing your pay, so moving you up a pay grade or a step,
I'm topped out. Ain't more steps for me.
what pay grade are you at?
6.
6?
Yeah, this is my 10th year. But what's happened, I was brought in around a 3 or 4, but they froze all the raises for about 3-4 years. When I was first hired in, so I never got a raise for 3 or 4 years.
Could the maintenance department be moved over to the pay scale only, Eric, or?
It can be a combination of that you guys choose to do.
So if we move him over to a 2080 scale, he'd be topped out at step 6, or pay grade 6, step 10, correct?
Correct, but he'd be paid for an additional 260 hours per year.
May I speak about the hours? The thing is about if you move maintenance to the 2080, then they would have to take those extra 5 hours off a week. There's 2 guys.
Ain't no
And
way.
if they have a lot of comp time, they have to take that time off sometime, or be out of compliance, or be paid for it. It's hard to just give them a vacation when you just got 2 people. And they have an inmate that they have all the time. So if they're one's on vacation, the other has the inmate, they can't even take a lunch hour because they have that inmate with them all day long, helping them work. That's where the 2080 would help out with the comp time. That would be 5 less hours that they would have to get rid of each week.
I guess if you're thinking about just moving the maintenance department, you know, I'm glad you're thinking that way, but we have a lot of folks in this office who work way more than 8 hours a day. And I'm not throwing off on the sheriff's department. You know, I'd like everybody in the county to be paid fairly. But it seems like every time somebody gets more money, the mayor's office gets the shaft.
We're getting 2 new employees.
And 5%.
and a 5% COLA. I'm
Well,
just,
sure.
I'm not trying to argue with you, but I mean, I think to say that we haven't done anything through your office isn't fair.
Well, okay, up to this point, up to this year.
I understand.
Robert, so we know you're at step 6, or pay grade 6. Robert, are you at an 8?
I'm at 8, and I am a 6 going to a 7.
So there's kind of 2 issues being discussed here. One is pay rate, right? Really just fair market pay rates.
Right.
And then the other is unable to get the job done in the time allotted. Those are the 2 issues that I'm hearing as you're speaking to me. So, and then if you're not able to get the job done, you get comp time, and then because there's only 2 of you, we're unable to take time off it. That makes it difficult.
Sometimes it is hard to take time off, it's just the 2 of us.
I've been here 10 years, I probably turn in my vacation, probably over half every year.
Mhm.
It goes into sick time, so.
I'm trying to figure out how we solve at least one of those problems. Would there be any value, do they report to you, Sarah? Is that the board of the mayor? Directly to the mayor, okay. Would there be any value in adding some part-time dollars in there so at least they could take their, because I mean, I think even if you put them on a 40-hour scale, you may still run into that. You know?
You're right, there's a possibility that the comp time hours are still going to be.
And if we just double your pay, or not double, but you know, I mean, increase your pay, double and be all right, wouldn't it though?
Yeah, that would be great.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
But if we do that, we still haven't solved the comp time problem, because there's still only 2 of you. Even if you pay more,
That's right.
it's still only 2 of you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how we can at least get you to be able to do the job in the time allotted.
You ain't gonna get anybody to work part-time. Next time I'm not gonna do it anymore.
I don't know.
But the part of that 76,671 that I mentioned that would involve them is 19,407, and you're not gonna hire a part-time for 19,407.
You,
I'm just trying to get them paid what they're worth, for the hours that they work.
We got too small. I mean, to be honest. How many buildings are you responsible for?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 that we do on a very regular basis, and then there's a handful of others that we'll get called to come do small things around and do.
we take care of the tires for him, for the.
Take care of the
weed eating,
radio
spraying,
towers.
do them, help them out, and we got time.
If recycle needs something done sometimes with some of their locations, whether it be a water leak or put in a new water line or things like that, we get a call to go help the recycle department out and things like that also.
Yeah, we plumbed the whole bathrooms down there for them.
Just curious, in your opinion, how many more men would you need, men or women, would you need to officially operate the maintenance team?
In a 35 to 40-hour work week.
In a 35 to 40-hour work week. Before that, if we had to schedule something on a weekend or a holiday that we could work things around. I would say 1 to 2 full-time.
There used to be 3 full-time.
Yeah, there used to be like 3
Yeah,
full-time and a part-time.
What happened there? Did
Well, I don't know.
that position get eliminated, or?
We don't know what happened to it.
One of them one of the full-times got moved up to the Justice Center.
Oh, yeah, we took a lot more on too.
Yeah. One of the full-time positions, I believe, whenever the sheriff's department had their own maintenance person, when they got their own maintenance person inside the jail, one of the maintenance people that was down here, I think got transferred up there. From my knowledge, that was all pre me working for the county.
So it sounds like we've got 3 problems. And we can't fix them all at one time. I'm in favor of moving the maintenance team up to the 2080 scale to start with this, start addressing the problem. And then I think we as a commission need to start, looking at the fact that we're trying to run the same department like we did 20 years ago.
We got those vehicles in the county.
Does anybody know how many maintenance employees the school system has? I was just curious.
I don't know.
How does the jail have?
I hired that employee, I didn't get the position.
Oh, well, I was mistaken on that then. I'm sorry about that.
Do you know how many maintenance you all have?
Not off the top of my head.
So you're part of the problem there, Sheriff.
He's trying to fill in 11 positions.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Commissioner Palmer, but I'm gonna stress one more time that this crew in this office has brought in millions of dollars in grants for no extra hourly pay. And I'm not asking you to increase their hourly pay, I'm just asking you to give them one more hour a day to do that.
Well, I'm gonna be real honest with you, and I don't mean any disrespect to, in any way, I wouldn't say anything in a personal way, but I think some of the lower end people that you're wanting to help, Mayor, are getting lost, and some of the highest paid people in your office getting such large raises.
I don't see large raises.
Well, I do, and that's not to discount what any of those higher paid folks are making. But now I think if somebody came to us about some of your lower paid folks and maintenance guys, I would imagine they save up a lot of money by not having to contract out people at times. It's probably cheaper to use them than it is to call an outside service company. And there's just one example. I could see doing something with their work time and even their pay rate. I don't know, it's just, I want to solve the problem where the problem exists. I don't want to lump it all together if it's all not a problem. But you're saying it all is a problem, right, Mayor, for everybody in your office?
Problem, a concern is more what I've got than a problem. These folks are busting their butt, working way more than 7 hours a day and not getting paid. That's my concern. I see it every day. I wish you all could be in here every day to see what goes on. I mean, it's go from the word go every morning in here. And I mean, Sarah can tell you, we have to plan time for her and I to get together. Eric and I have to plan time to get together because they've got so much other stuff going on. And I don't want to make a mistake, so I want to, work through it the best I can with them. It's frustrating for me to be supposedly the chief administrative person of this county and not be able to tell you all what they do and get them properly paid for. I don't. Dan used an example the other day of my dad. I wouldn't, as me, walk into my dad's office and say, hey, you can't give these people a raise, because he's the one that's run the place, not me.
So I guess my response is, no one's discrediting the work that the administrative office does. But the term many hands make light work. I feel giving an extra position to help with Eric's office can address some of these problems, because that should alleviate some of the burden on the other employees. especially if they are cross-trained in payroll, accounts receivable, purchasing, even to help Eric, like people, hey, I'm swamped with this, I need you to, can you work on this for me instead? You know, kind of be like a rover position, you know, just sort of help out everywhere in the office.
That's one way to look at it, but they're not gonna go home at 4 o'clock regardless. They still will have work to do, whether there's an extra person or not. Eric's here most days longer than I am, and I'm here most days till 6 or a little after. He's not gonna go home at 4 because he's got an extra person. It just, I can see it, I'm here every day.
So other than a deadline that had to be met by 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, I guess my question is, what could the work not be picked up the next day at 8 or?
You want the county employees paid on time?
So, okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So how does our current payroll work? Is this you clock in on a computer system that automatically calculates? So what are we doing? The old fashioned write it down and?
Manual timesheets.
Manual timesheets for hourly.
Whether it be in this office across the office across the street. Would it not be more beneficial to go to a automated system or computer system that someone, you know, say Robert had to come in and he clocks in, clocks out, and he keeps up with the time that way?
You still gotta have somebody compiling the hours.
Yeah.
But would that not be a lot quicker than manually?
Not necessarily, I mean, I agree with you, we should.
I know at work, when I clock in and out, I can push a button and see exactly how many hours was on that work week.
Mhm. And when they turn in their hourly sheets, they see how many hours they worked that week too. That's where it comes
So if
from.
a computer's adding up the hours though, that would alleviate that one person.
The employees adds up their hours, we just check it.
I disagree with.
Well,
Well, electronic
You're not here, Commissioner Palmer, all due respect. You don't work in this office.
Well, electronic systems have to be more efficient, or else every private company in America wouldn't be using them. You know, I mean, they'd still be calculating pay sheets, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I think that's silly. We know an electronic system would be more efficient, it would have to be. Now, whether we wanted to make that investment, and I think we're past that question right now. We're trying to get the budget passed. But us sitting here and arguing about doing payroll and pen and paper being faster than an automated system is just outlandish. Do you have a motion you want to make?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to move the banking team over to the 2080 scale.
I'll second.
Yes.
We have the budget motion on the floor, so
Make a
we're
motion
voting
to
on.
amend.
Make a motion to amend to move the banking team over to the 2080 scale.
I'll second.
And it's still for discussion. How many other offices would be on that, or not on it, rather?
We only got 2 for the maintenance team, I guess it would be them 2.
Just us.
Jim, would this affect your office?
Yes, sir.
Reason being, Danny, typically, you know, they're open to the public until 4 o'clock and they close and can go home. We have the front door open till 4 o'clock, but we don't go home until 5 or 6.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to amend,
Who was the second?
Robbie
Gill.
Gill, to move the maintenance to the 2080 scale. Are you ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a roll call.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Danny Alice,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Nancy Barker,
Yes.
and Tom Kern.
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries.
Okay, let's go back to the original amendment. Approval of the appropriations for the 2024-2025 fiscal year budget.
And that's still including the 2 new employees, Commissioner Barton.
For the mayor's office.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So do we have any more discussion?
And the 5% total, right?
Yes.
What was the question? What did you say, Rob?
So it includes the 5% COLA and the 2 new employees for the mayor's office.
Well, that's across the board for all
Yeah.
offices.
Can we separate that on the new employees? I think we can. I'd like to put that in form of a motion that we remove that budget.
Divided question. That's what you want to do. You want to vote on the employees separate from the budget?
Yes.
You have to have some form of action on that too. Either
Probably
remove
won't.
that or do something. You couldn't just vote on it with that or without that. You have to have an action up to you say remove this employee.
I guess, or you want to remove
Or you want to amend it?
Amend it to remove the 2 new employees.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to eliminate the 2 new employees that are already in the budget.
You lost me. Come back and throw that at me again. You're eliminating 2 employees?
The 2 that we approved.
The 2 that we approved.
Right, okay.
Give me just a minute. So your motion to amend would be to remove the 2 new employees that were given to accounting and budgeting and EMA.
That's not exactly.
Is that correct, Mr. Allen?
Yes, yes.
So he made the motion. Was there a second?
Second. Okay. Motion failed due to lack of a second.
Eric, this budget, does that include that 15%? Is that what you asked for? The 15%?
It does. Yeah, I thought you were asking about that. It's $42,002.
Madam Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Under emergency management, right now there's a director and 2 part-time, is that correct?
I have 1 part-time that works a day or 2 a week, and I have a couple of reserve staff that may work a couple times a year.
What's budgeted for, Director Miller?
It's 30, you can answer that, Eric.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you make it part-time and full-time?
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're
So
doing.
so that will eliminate a part-time.
Yeah, we've offered 16,000 to offset that. Half of the part-time budget.
With the voluntary reduction, your part-time personnel budget is down to $16,308 for 24-25 fiscal year. You want the 23-24 figure as well?
And of the 1 part-time I have, he's a dual role employee, actually triple role employee with the county. He works for me part-time. He works for the mayor underneath the safety program, which gives us a significant savings in our insurance and workers' comp, and works for the school system as well, so we stretch him pretty thin.
Okay.
Hang on. Jamie, so in your part-time personnel line item, page 25, 169. So that would leave you at 16,308.
Correct.
What would that 16,000, if we were eliminating the part-time position, what would that 16,000 be for?
The other part-time position. And any of that reserve staff that we were to have to pull in during a disaster, that could, that's something that would be a multi-day operational period.
Any other questions?
This new person is gonna start out at 45,432, is that correct?
That's about 2 step forward.
Yeah.
new person will be what?
Up to 45,432.
What, start out?
That's between step 1 and 4, so that's the step 4, that's the worst case scenario.
So then the pay grade 9, right?
Correct. Pay grade 9, and then still in 1820, so you're looking at 40,425, 42,095, 43,763, or worst case scenario, 45,432.
When we started out presenting that as a 10, and we dropped it to a 9 during the period.
Jamie, is there, so you're given, 30, so the part-time money was 32,000?
Correct. And
Right, you cut it to 16-ish,
Yeah.
give or take a dollar.
it was added during COVID because we were physically just getting overran. We couldn't move those supplies that couldn't be purchased quick enough without catting someone in there. Plus the scenario that arose pretty quickly of if I were to be out of service medically, that there was no one else at all that moved those supplies.
Do you anticipate needing that full 16 with another full-time employee now?
We'll turn back in that position floats on how many hours a week it's worked by the availability of that person, but we typically turn some money back in that line. This year we turned back in a significant amount, where it was moved into a budget amendment.
Eric, let me ask you this, this may not even be, we're not going to be able to do it legally. So basically right now, that is a if needed position, that's 16,000 sitting there.
That's how Jamie uses it, and yes.
So if that position, could we remove that 16, and if that position is needed in case of emergency, to be paid out of, be allocated in between the budget committee, or?
The problem is, if he has an emergency, he has an emergency today. And by the way, that just kind of government structure, you have to have the budget amendment in by the second Monday, to have the budget meeting on the third Monday, that full commission on the fourth Monday, his emergency's already passed. So if you don't have it ready to roll, when emergency comes, you're not prepared.
Another thing we do by tying to the same person the mayor has in safety and the EMA is I'm supplying the vehicle, I'm supplying the fuel for that vehicle. All that comes under my budget. The only thing that doesn't is like if he goes out and finds say if he goes out with Tosha and finds a violation for like a fire extinguisher, that comes out of Sarah's budget when they have to make that repair, is my understanding. Is that correct, Sarah? And there's always a violation.
What is the hourly rate we pay part-time, your part-time?
I think it's 18.
18?
Yes. Which during the event, like for instance, several wells, I had both those spun up working them actually over the legal now, which is I think 29 hours a week.
Okay, any more questions? Do you want a roll call on that? Let's do a roll call. Sarah?
Counselor Gillum,
We're just voting on full budget, right? Send the budget on, is that what we're voting?
2024-0706, correct? I think that's where we are.
As amended.
As amended.
And that's what a tax increase is attached to it if we approve this. That needs to be put out there. 25.
You know that, Eric, 23 cents is the change.
Is the increase, that's
Right.
not the amount of the tax levy, but yes, 23 and 0.46 cents is your increase.
Go ahead.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Tom Kirk,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Nancy Barker,
Yes.
Danny Alves,
No.
Robbie Palmer.
Yes.
5 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick
That ends
question?
up being around 24%,
Somewhere right around in there.
so.
24 cents, not percent.
So all we saved is dropping the the 9% off wouldn't take away from the bridge.
Well, actually, we were only,
Yeah, 9 on the bridge, so we really,
We were almost at 35, he's at 34.7 something, right?
yes.
really with all this meetings, we'd say less than 1%.
You said
No, we cut it.
11.21 cents. I don't have a percent, but you said 11.21 cents.
We could have,
Take away 9.
we cut almost $2 million out of it.
A quick question before you get to the next one. Do you,
Yes, sir.
do you know how much the additional spending for to move the maintenance guys up is going to cost? That was never really mentioned.
Roughly 19.
It's $19,407. I wouldn't even bother moving the tax rate on that. Agreed.
Do we need to make that in the
And you still have the tax levy to send on.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we're to fix the tax levy for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Recommendations: consider fix the tax levy at 2.5593 per $100 taxable property. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
John? Do I have a second?
Second.
Tom? Any discussion?
Yeah. So right here it says shall be 267.
Where did I do that?
The typo in the first paragraph.
So that should be 255.93. Where did you see it? The first paragraph.
It's in the first paragraph of where all the funds.
Yep, I get that.
So 255.93, right?
Yep.
Now, is this where do we need to make the motion to not, to just pull it out of the general fund for the,
That's understood if you don't adjust it.
At this tax rate, did that put you 2.5 million in the red still? Was that was the benchmark you all were shooting for?
Roughly before the 16, so
Okay.
it'll be slightly more.
Eric, on this, how we spread our pennies out, is there any area on here that you feel like could be adjusted that we may need to, I know, move the pennies?
Yeah, I think capital projects could be increased to help offset future debt needs.
Where would you take that out of?
Doesn't know where you take it from. That's my recommendation.
Well, that's what-
Anytime you can feed your capital projects fund, you avoid future debt needs.
Well, that's what I was saying right here. Is there anywhere that one area doing okay without?
The only thing we have going for us right now is not a tax rate, it's in our local option sales tax where we've capped that solid waste. And if that continues to overperform, we could maybe look at lowering that, but right now, we don't have enough data to make a good decision on that, so that's the only revenue we have that's really doing great, outperforming its expectations.
Okay, any more discussion? Sarah, call the roll.
Tom Kerr.
Yes.
Robbie Palmer.
Yes.
Joshua Gillum.
Yes.
John Gibson.
Yes.
Danny Alves.
No.
Nancy Barker.
Yes.
5 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
All right, that does it for the resolutions. Do we have any other business to come before this board, this committee? Second?
It's breaking news, Trump is vice president.
Who won it?
Man, so high. Center basketball.
Oh, okay. Wow.